A walk-around is now a very trendy concept, so to set you apart from the crowd you have to differentiate the boats. They must be beautiful, easy to drive, fun and safe. But to be unique, you have to make unique boats. This is the new Fjord 41XL. Already from its name, 41XL, you can comprehend that it wants to be a big boat. Yet, in this case, XL does not stand for extra large, but rather for extra living. In fact, for this model, there are more than 90 possible layouts between those above and below deck. 90. Yes, you heard right. I said 90. Basically, buying this boat means buying a small one-off. Let's start from the stern. Here there are two versions, one of which is the fixed platform with a folding ladder, or this version with a gigantic hydraulic bathing platform that can go up or dive with possibility of storage. Just think that this platform is 1.8 meters long on a 41-foot boat, meaning it is more or less 1/7 of the total length of the boat. For the cockpit, Fjord's product manager, the Italian Andrea Zambonini, and the French designer Frank Darnay thought of 10 possible layouts. The first version consists in a free deck, which means that this whole area is free from any obstacle or structure. The layout of this unit includes a very large aft sun deck with reclining backrests, 2 refrigerators, and spacious and safe lockers. And that is a good thing, because if you put a sea bob or some other valuable water toys in it, the fact that it can be locked up is not a bad idea. Also, from inside the locker, you can access the engine room. But what if the locker is full? Don't worry, you can also go in from the cockpit. 2 drop-leaf tables, which when opened measure a total of 2 meters in length, allow you to comfortably accommodate up to 8 people in the cockpit area. This is just one of the possibilities that Fjord can offer, but as we said before, you can customize this area as you wish, either with ideal layouts for onboard parties or with Paola Lenti's outdoor furniture accessories. Just think that one owner could decide to put a piano in this area. Why? Well, why not? Even if you are on a 13-meter area, you wouldn't want to deprive yourself of live music. The outdoor gallery of the new 41XL is modular and therefore sectional according to the owner's needs. Here there are 2 furniture pieces with a sink and a worktop. Below, yet only in these 2 pieces of furniture, there is no refrigerator or much space for storage, but soon we will understand why. On the opposite side, another furniture piece with another worktop that can also be customized, for example with a barbecue. The great thing about this cockpit is that you can add or remove all the furniture you want, except for these 2, completely joining the kitchen. Here comes one of the main features of the new Fjord model, namely the T-top. But what does the T-top have to do with the kitchen? This is the largest T-top that Fjord has ever built, and thanks to its size, especially its width, which is equivalent to the maximum width of the hull, the supports do not fall into the centre of the cockpit, as we're used to seeing in all other models, but they are joined to the gunwale and therefore directly to the bulwarks, leaving the cockpit completely clear and allowing the maximum possibility of managing the various pieces of furniture. And if the rigid sun deck cover isn't enough for you, this awning goes all the way to the stern. Due to its size, the T-top needs 4 support points, 2 in the middle of the boat and 2 towards the bow. Here the superstructure communicates with the hull through these 2 fiberglass stands called hockey sticks, because their shape resembles a hockey stick. The glass can be as low as in this case, or for more rigid climates, high to cover the entire navigation bridge. To get all the way to the extreme part of the bow, you pass along the typical walkways of a walk-around. The sides are very high, all the way to the top bow vertex, and therefore safe for anyone on board, especially for children. The forward area of the new 41XL is characterised by a large sun deck that can also be covered by an awning that extends from the T-top to the bow. And what about the anchor? It is hidden in the stern. Even below deck, the new Fjord 41XL gives us many possibilities regarding the choice of layout. The shipyard offers the version with 2 bathrooms or with another additional internal kitchen, the possibility of having or not having a second cabin, and even a corner office in the hallway. At the bow there is the owner's cabin, which is wide, high and above all very bright. It can be separated from the rest of the rooms by a sliding door. There are many windows, and on this model, and for the first time in the history of Fjord, in addition to the windows that are aimed at the walkways of the bridge and on the ceiling, the Dahn Design Studio has given to those who enter below deck this splendid view of the sea, which is not limited only to the main cabin, but flows up to the stern, giving brightness and breadth to all the environments. The design is studied in detail, and the internal lines want to resume the external ones of the hull. Here too there is the possibility to customise the environment, because there is the possibility of choosing the colour of the gel coat details, of the fabrics, and of the seams of the leather finishes. The standard bathroom is on the starboard side. It is large with a separate shower. The aft cabin, which includes a double bed to the starboard and the comfortable seat on the opposite side, has 2 ingenious solutions that greatly increase its livability. The large windows that allow an opening to the outside, which is exceptional on this type of boat. And do you remember that under one of the 2 furniture pieces of the outdoor kitchen, the storage space was a bit tight? This is why. Even in the aft cabin, I can stand up to 1.7 meters, and there is lots of space here as well. The Fjord shipyard is a German shipyard, so it goes without saying that this boat was built and engineered in Germany. But we can say that this project is international because the product manager is Italian, the designer is French, and the naval architect is English. Who is he? Patrick Banfield, the father of this walk-around concept. It is Banfield himself who designed this hull, a very deep hull that gives stability during navigation. As we said before, the T-top is the largest that Fjord has ever built, and being made of fiberglass, the centre of gravity is quite high as also the sides of this boat, and having the keel so deep, the centre of gravity is not very low. The planing begins at around 10 knots, and the tip does not rise very much, but to find the right incidence in the water, you have to accelerate. Around 15 knots, we begin to feel the hull coming out of the water in a substantial way. The boat becomes lighter at the helm and also becomes more perceptible. At around 20 knots, we begin to enter a regime that could be the softer cruising one. The pilot station is minimal. We have the rudder, the throttles, the joystick and the plotter. The instruments are very visible, yet they absolutely do not take away the visibility in the bow. This area is customizable as well. We can have 3 seats, as in this case, or add one here in the centre. It's a very interesting thing that you can comfortably sit at the helm, whether you are very tall or short like me. You just have to adjust the seat. A good cruising speed is 27 knots. Here the consumption is 100 litres. That is wonderful. The hull is very smooth. The more waves there are, the more fun this boat becomes, precisely because of its smoothness. At the stern, we have 2 440 horsepower engines. This is the maximum power you can have on this model. So today, we are going to have fun.
A 3500 giri facciamo 32 nodi e il consumo.
At 3,500 RPM we are going at 32 knots and the consumption is 143 litres per hour. This front windshield is gigantic. The hockey sticks keep it very still, so the vibrations are minimal. And even if today the windshield that is mounted on this unit is the smallest one, meaning it doesn't cover up to the T-top, the wind doesn't reach me as much, which is great considering it's November now and I'm wearing a T-shirt. Although the centre of gravity is high, the boat in turning does not dive down. It continues to give me a great sense of safety. The shipyard assures us that we can reach 35 knots with this model and with this type of propulsion. So today I have two goals. One is to reach 35 knots and two, to exceed them. 3,500 RPM, 34 knots, 166 litres per hour. We reached the first goal. We're at 3,600 RPM and we are going at 35 knots. And 3,650 RPM, 168 litres per hour. And we're doing 36.4 knots. It's super smooth on the water and it's easy to navigate. I feel really safe. And I obviously always have the kill cord connected. So, if it is true that to be unique you have to build unique boats, with the new 41XL Fjord has given each owner the opportunity to own his own exclusive piece. What about you? How would you like yours to be?